Welcome to right where you need to be on this chilly afternoon in Spokane, Washington. The sun decided to show up for this college basketball matinee as the Gonzaga Bulldogs welcome the Wyoming Cowgirls into the comforting confines of the McCarthy Athletic Center for what we anticipate to be a very exciting matchup. The stage is just about set as we welcome you inside the kennel hole, everyone. My partner for today's contest, Shaniqua Niles, former Gonzaga Bulldog. Shaniqua Niles, I'm Joe McHale. Glad you were with us. Shaniqua, these two teams, Wyoming, Gonzaga, they faced each other almost exactly 1 year ago today. GU escaped that, with a win by the skin of their teeth, in large part because of Yvonne Ejim. She was fantastic in that matchup, 27 points. She's been unstoppable almost this season. What makes her so special?
Well, she's just so dominant, averaging 19.3 points per game. You see her there, able to bury and seal for that low post. She's also very athletic, able to jab step, get to the rim. She finishes well in traffic. She's also stepped up defensively, able to put pressure on a guard here, gets the steal, finishes. She's just a great source of energy. She's what makes this team go. Ejim
has scored double figures in all 4 games this season, and she'll face a force in her own right in Allison Ferdig, who was part of last year's All-Mountain West team, and she leads the Cowgirls in scoring with 11 points per contest so far. GU's going to have to defend her today because she is dangerous.
Yeah, this is a matchup I'm looking forward to, Ferdig versus Ejim. Ferdig is just a big presence down low, and defensively she has the ability to alter and change a lot of shots. If you're the Zags, you have to have an emphasis on blocking her out because she is also very hard to stop when she's sealing for lobs, when she's bearing you down low, so you can't give her anything easy at the rim.
Yeah, exciting matchup to watch indeed. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We start with the visiting Cowgirls out of Laramie. Emily Melhima, a starter from last year's squad, along with Melina Peterson, Ula Ustowska, Tess Barnes, and Allison Ferdig. We just talked about her. That rounds out the Cowgirls. 3 starters from last year's team. As for the Bulldogs, their starting lineups, you see them right there on your screen. You're not seeing double. Kaylin and Kaylee Trong, the twin sisters out of Houston, Texas, 5th-year seniors they are joined with Brenna Maxwell, Eliza Hollingsworth, and Yvonne Ejim. We just talked about her, and we are just about ready to go here inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. A packed house on a Saturday afternoon, a great crowd here. As you see on your screen, the Cowgirls in the brown and gold, GU in white as we are ready for tip-off. And it's the Cowgirls who will control to start, moving from right to left on your screen. Peterson goes back up top. They swing it around to the right side. Peterson over to the wing. Nothing going. Good defense to start. There's an open look. 3 in and out. That was Tess Barnes. And it's Maxwell with the rebound.
Just a great defensive possession there for the Zags. If you're Wyoming, you're going to expect to see them slowing it down. They want to run their sets. They want to take shots late into the shot clock, which is the complete opposite of what the Zags team wants to do and what they're good at, as being opportunistic in transition.
Ejim in the paint, tries to get it to Hollingsworth. A little too hot to handle, and it's a turnover. Gonzaga enters this contest 3-1. They picked up wins earlier this season against Montana, Toledo, and North Florida. Their lone loss coming to Washington State just down the road from here in Pullman in an overtime game. Meanwhile, Wyoming 2-1 on the year. As they work it down low to Melhima, she gives it up to Ferdig, off the glass and in. First points of the game for the Cowgirls, 2-0.
And that's where Ferdig works best, right? 2 feet in the paint, able to gather that pass up in the lane and finish.
Maxwell's got it from the right elbow. That shot is good, and this game's tied. Maxwell transferred from the University of Utah a year ago. One of the best 3-point shooting players in the country. Was 2nd last year in percentage.
And Maxwell's ability to get her shot off so quickly. She has great footwork as well, which is something that I think fans might not realize you need to have when you're a good shooter, is getting your feet set and getting the ball out of your hands quick.
Peterson working against Strong. Dishes it back out up top. Melhima over to Peterson. They go low to Ferdig. She's on against Ejim. Ejim is going to get called for a foul. GU's bench doesn't like it. What'd you see there, Shaq?
I think that's tough. I think you have to allow Ferdig to come down in her cylinder Vonnie takes a little bit of a step up. That's a tough call, and I know that's something, her foul trouble, that this coaching staff has been really harping on her. As dominant as she is, if she's on the bench, she's not scoring, she's not getting rebounds, she's not impacting the game. So she picked up an early one. Now you have to be smart. She can't pick up a second one here early in the first quarter.
Ferdig's first free throw is good. She's a 90% shooter from the charity stripe on the season. Second one also flush, and the Cowgirls lead 4-2 early. Kaylee Trong was looking for Ejim. Instead, she'll give it back out to Hollingsworth on the wing. Now it's Kaylin Trong. Back to Hollingsworth. Off the grass, a little too strong, but Ejim is there for the putback two.
And that's great action. The Zags have such a great ability to get good looks out of their ball screens, and then Vonnie doing what she does best of going and getting an offensive rebound and finishing athletically.
She's averaging nearly a double-double this season, and you can see why. As Wyoming steps out of bounds, they'll turn it over and give it back to the Zags.
Just a great high-low pass there, and then again, Vonnie flies in there, able to shoot in the air.
Yeah, like a game of 21 in the backyard.
Yeah, I would love to play and be on her team, but I'm not playing her if I'm going against her.
Ejim again took one extra step, travel, going back the other way. So teams exchange turnovers here in the early going.
And this is a big game for both programs, and like you said, last season, it was a tough one. Wyoming wants to come here and do exactly what the Zags did to them last year, sneaking away with a victory, and the Zags want to, you know, keep their home court advantage and stay strong.
Yeah, two teams with high expectations. Ferdig up off the glass in good. Wyoming was picked to finish third in the Mountain West Conference this season. They've got NCAA tournament expectations. We know that's the story for GU every single year, and last time these two teams faced off, it looked like two NCAA tournament teams. GU won by 2 points in that contest. Ejim had the go-ahead bucket with just 9 seconds left, and that was the eventual game winner. So we might see more of that here today. Shot from Trong, too low, rebounded by Melhima, but given right back to Ejim as Maxwell pulls up from deep. Got it.
That's dangerous to get a steal and score with 29 seconds on your shot clock. That's what Maxwell brings, and kudos to both teams for just realizing what they do best. Maxwell in transition, for some teams that's an early shot, but for her that's money. Ulilainen
into the game. That one no good. Maxwell with the rebound, and they're bringing it down the court. Maxwell tries to go down under. Ejim kicks it back out. Now Kaylin Trong on the wing. Ejim from the right elbow. Off the mark, but Hollingsworth is there to grab the rebound, and the left-hander is up and good. Nice touch there from Hollingsworth.
I think this season, Hollingsworth has just been so active on the boards. I think that's a part of her game that she really stepped up from last season.
GU with a 3-point lead here, early going. Peterson thought about it for a second. Instead, they'll work it around. Ulilainen back up top to Melina. She's got a swarm of defenders around her, tries to give it up. Instead, it's turned over, and the Zags are coming the other way. Maxwell, another three. That one short, but Eliza Hollingsworth with another rebound and another score.
Again, great shot by Maxwell. I think if you're the Zags coaching staff, you're okay with that shot. She just hit the last one. And then again, Eliza Hollingsworth cleaning up the boards.
And it looks like we'll have another steal here. Though girls, Ejim. And GU is finding some rhythm here early on. 13-6, under 5 to play in the first quarter.
And I think this pace is much better suited for this Zags team. Wyoming wants to slow it down, run their sets. They don't want to get in a running game, in a foot race with the Zags.
Gonzaga averaging over 82 points a game this season, so they can score and they can score fast. So you're right, Shaq. Wyoming does want to slow this game down. That shot was a little short from Barnes. GU running again. Maxwell another three and another bucket. And Coach Heather Easel for the Cowgirls wants a timeout as Gonzaga up to a 10-point lead here in the first quarter. On a current 12-0 run over the last 2 minutes, Maxwell, one of the best shooters in the country. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. Brenna Maxwell and the Gonzaga Bulldogs off to a fast and furious start. The senior out of Gig Harbor, Washington, already with 2 threes in this contest, 8 points, and GU is on a 12-0 run.
Yeah, just a great job of playing to their pace, playing to their strengths. For all you young kids out there, if you want to be a good shooter, you have to have a short memory. So she missed one in transition, doesn't hesitate. She has good feet, quick release, stays true to her form, and able to get some easy baskets in for the Zags.
Maxwell averaging 11 points so far this season. She was named to the Becky Hammond Player of the Year preseason watch list and already showing why she absolutely deserves to be in that conversation.
I like the Zags coming out of that timeout here by Wyoming with a different look. They're running this 1-3-1, aggressive, trying to speed up Wyoming a little bit.
That shot was missed by Marta Savic. She's in for the first time for the Cowgirls. Meanwhile, GU with a couple new players on the floor. Mount Hybens, number 5 there, as well as Callie Stokes, number 10, seeing their first action this afternoon. Hybens to Maxwell from the right side, and she'll shoot 2 as she was fouled.
Great action there where the ball goes to the left wing, a little pin down screen. Again, she's got the hot hand, does a great job of recognizing that her defender is behind her. She curls that. And again, guarding her is so tricky because she does have such good footwork, such a quick release. And you see it a lot where people are crowding her because she's a shooter. And there she ends up getting fouled because she didn't have the safety, the space to land, unfortunately.
And that's someone, when you go to the line, Coach Lisa Fortier can feel pretty comfortable with. She's perfect, 9 for 9, make it 10 for 10 on the year from the free throw line. And GU now up 18-6. Ustowska up at the top, gives it off to Ulilainen. She's double covered, back to Ustowska. Drives in the paint, kicks it back up. Three-pointer is good, so the Cowgirls end a 14-0 run with a three-pointer from Ulilainen. Hybin sets the screen for Stokes. Back over to Maxwell. She'll look to drive, kicks it back out to Stokes. Fake shot, pulls up, jumper, mid-range, too strong. Rebounded by Ulilainen.
I like that look from Callie Stokes, so she has the ability to knock that down, and you went side, top side a little bit. Now you have to get a stop defensively. Looking
inside for Savic, uses her frame to go up strong and puts it in off the glass.
Great job by Savic there just to gobble that ball up, get it to her chin, finish through traffic over Maud Hybens.
Yeah, Savic, an experienced player for this squad. This Hybens is too strong. Played in 34 games last year, did Savic. And Hybens is fouled. She'll go to the line.
Right now, I think Wyoming needs to settle in a little bit defensively. They're missing some blockouts. Callie Stokes didn't get that rebound, but she flew in there, got a hand on it, tipped it back to Mount Hybens. So if you're the Cowgirls, you have to have a greater emphasis on blocking out, putting a body on somebody.
Right now, and you can just see, GU is dominating the glass. They've got 8 rebounds compared to the Cowgirls' 2. And I know that Coach Heather Easel for Wyoming, that's going to be a point of emphasis in getting that narrative turned around. Oh, and Maxwell just took what looked like an elbow to the face. Of course, not intentional by any means.
Yeah, just unfortunate here. Marta Savic, she's just trying to pivot, but my dad used to say, when you're at that perfect height, right, Maxwell's chin is right at Savic's pivoting area, so the right call, but like you said, I don't think anything was intentional. Was just trying to clear space for herself.
Yeah, Maxwell will go sit down after that.
Smiling, so
I know.
All her teeth are in, so we're okay.
Yep, but she took that right on the jaw. And right now we're going to get an inbound from GU after that whistle. Ejim back in the game, gives it up to Kaylee Trong, who pulls up. Shot no good, but guess who? Ejim, another rebound. Now a kick out to Trong. That one. And it's just a repeat. Ejim, another rebound, and that time, 3rd time's the charm. Kaylin Trong, her first baskets of the contest.
And those are the best type of three-point attempts, right, where it's off an offensive rebound. Defense is scrambling around a little bit. And that's just the confidence that this team plays with. Like I said, same with BMAC. She missed one, doesn't care, shakes it off, gets her feet set, able to let another 3 fly.
We mentioned just the rebounding differential early in this game. It's now 10-3 in favor of Gonzaga. Ejim doing everything there to give the team another opportunity as Uli Leinen lays it in. Ejim looks down low. Pass was a little too high. She was looking for high bins, but it sails out of bounds.
I think that's the right idea here. But on your screens, just Yvonne Ejim able to gobble up, scrap around, get 2 offensive rebounds, kicking that out to Kaylin Trong, excuse me, gets that 3-point shot to fall. If you're Wyoming, you have to find a body. That's where I think Fertig has to be a little bit better, especially against Ejim, because she's just so active, so you have to have a greater emphasis.
Peterson sidesteps. Nice looking shot there to get it up and in over Ejim. And the Cowgirls have cut the lead to 7. Just under a minute to play here in the first quarter. Ejim's got it down low. Fertig with nice defense there as a double dribble called against Ejim.
Yeah, I thought that there was a little bit of a bobble there, that maybe Fertig had touched it here, but oh, I see. Unfortunate there. Ejim has a couple of turnovers here. I think she's up to 4 now, so she's just got to be a little bit more patient with the ball in her hands.
Peterson takes it back up top over to Barnes in the wing. Wide open shot from Ustowska is good, and it's a 3-pointer for the Cowgirls, who've now cut it down to 4 with under 20 to go in the first quarter.
Wyoming's just done a great job of sticking true to themselves. That shot was taken with 7 or 8 seconds left on their shot clock.
Ball out of bounds. It will stay with GU. Now, we mentioned the run earlier by Gonzaga. Meanwhile, Wyoming's on a 7-0 run of their own to cut into what was a pretty large deficit in this first quarter. GU with the likely last shot of the quarter, and it's Kaylin Trong, a corner 3 to get her Bulldogs back up by 7 at the end of 1.
Great action there from the Zags to execute. Too easy, though, if you're a Cowgirls fan. It's just entering into your 4, popping out, hitting a 3. I think you have to be a little bit more ready for that, especially with 5 seconds left in the quarter. But just a great job to execute by Gonzaga.
Kaylin Trong, who battled injuries last season. Nice to see her back, looking like her old self. We're going to take a break. Second quarter, when we return, it's GU 25, Wyoming 18. Well, welcome back. You're taking a look at the Wyoming head coach Heather Ezel. She is in her 2nd season as coach of the Cowgirls. Now, she set a program record for wins in a first-year head coach with 23 last season. You see the record there, 25-12 overall. So got her team in the NIT tournament last season. So that's Heather Ezel, the 2nd-year head coach of Wyoming. Will meet the head coach of Gonzaga momentarily. For now, though, Gonzaga with a 7-point lead after 1, and a fight for the ball out of bounds. The stripes say it will stay with the Bulldogs.
And again, Yvonne Ejim just so active chasing that down.
And there is Coach Fortier in her 10th season as head coach. 233 wins, just 59 losses. And she's the only coach in program history to have 20-win seasons. A shot good for Gonzaga. They extend their lead to 9. We've got a whistle. Ball's going back to GU. Hollingsworth will come back into the game for Hybins. And Esther Little checking in for the first time as well for the Bulldogs. Number 0.
I know it's a point of emphasis for this Gonzaga coaching staff. to not just run out of bounds just to get the ball in, but they're trying to get into action where they can score out of, which I think is pretty unique. Right there, little screen, pick and pop. That's a great look for Eliza Hollingsworth. She's a great three-point shooter. And again, who's on the boards? Yvonne Ejim.
And she kicks it out to Kaylee
Another
Trong.
great shot.
And this time it will go with the Cowgirls. So Ejim with already 5 rebounds in this game. It feels like it's more than that. I don't think the stats can keep up with how fast she's getting rebounds.
Yeah, she's just flying all over the place. And that's one thing that she's improved on as well, is just consistently going to the boards, not having these spurts, but just making that a priority of her game.
Cowgirls turn it over. It was Hollingsworth who intercepted that pass, and GU coming the other way.
And coming the other way quickly. I'm watching Fertig here, and she's looking tired. We're only less than a minute into this, or a little over a minute into this second quarter, and she's winded. It's not an easy task to block out the likes of Hollingsworth and Ejim, and then to play up and down at the pace that Gonzaga wants to play. So I would love to see the Cowgirls getting her more involved, looking at that lob for her there, maybe a little high-low action, but they got to get her involved offensively.
Three-pointer from Barnes is no good. Board grab by Hollingsworth. But, you know, the Cowgirls have got to have some good lungs as GU turns it over. Up in Laramie, they're over 7,100 feet above sea level, so. But it's still tough as a three-pointer is good from Emily Melima. It's still a tough task keeping up with this fast-paced offense of GU.
Yeah, but a great job by Wyoming there of getting that turnover and then executing something, getting something out of it. Points off of turnovers are going to be big for both teams.
Kaylee Trong, her second three-pointer of the game is good, and GU out to a 9-point lead.
Just the confidence of which she plays with, I'm so impressed with. Again, throws a bad turnover that leads to 3 points for the Cowgirls, but steps into her shot confidently on the other end. Right there, the Cowgirls go into a little dump down for themselves to get a bucket. Zags have to be more disciplined defensively.
Yeah, Peterson, a nice job down low to get it up and off the glass. Meanwhile, Ejim will go to work, and she'll foul and will go back to the line.
I mean, what a luxury when your starting center is the likes of Yvonne Ejim, able to catch it in the mid-post. She faces up, has guard-like quickness, the ability to jab step and put the ball on the floor to her non-dominant hand, and then get a good look. She almost made that. Could have been an and one.
Yeah, she can play 1 through 5 out there. She's
so tough to guard.
First free throw is good for Ejim, who on the season is shooting 92% from the line. And second shot goes. So the Bulldogs were once again picked to finish first in the WCC Conference regular season. They got 8 of the first place votes. Portland, who beat them in the conference tournament championship game last year, did receive 1 first place vote. They've been picked to finish second. And we mentioned Wyoming picked to finish third in the Mountain West Conference after finishing second a year ago. And it's a turnover going the other way by Trong. Left-handed layup is up and good. So Trong starting to get things going. As we mentioned, battled injuries most of last season, appeared in just under, I think, 12 games or less last year. That was a big missing piece for this Bulldog team when she was not healthy.
Yeah, you never want to see a player go down, but a player that was playing significant minutes and has such a significant role on this team, I know that they're happy to have her back.
Shot off the mark from Savic. Ejim grabbed the rebound. Trong was driving, but she got fouled.
And again, that's one pass in transition into a attacking the rim situation. That's tough if you're the Cowgirls because you're sprinting back into transition. Your defense isn't loaded up and set. So they have to stop the ball. You also have to match up quicker than you are right now.
McKinley Dickerson will check in for the Cowgirls. As well, Uli Leinen. Hollingsworth shot is good. GU has subbed in Callie Stokes, as well as Mount Hybins again. Bulldogs out to a 13-point lead here in the second quarter, and Maxwell's going to get called for a reach.
That's one element of Maxwell's game that she's just going to have to continue to evolve. I know she wants to keep playing after she leaves Gonzaga, so being able to laterally move and keep people in front of you without fouling.
Dickerson, the inbound, gives it up to Melhima. Maddie Simons also in the game for Wyoming. She's got it, and she'll put it up and in. The former Coeur d'Alene Viking with a three-point here for the Cowgirls.
Good for her. A little bit of a homecoming for Maddie Simons.
Yep.
Gets subbed in and doesn't waste any time, shoots it with confidence, able to get that three to fall. Simons
was an excellent player for the Vikings her time in Coeur d'Alene. Multiple-time Inland Empire League MVP. And has found a place in this Wyoming offense or this Wyoming lineup early on. She comes off the bench, but, I mean, she's already averaging, just a freshman, 6 or 7 minutes a contest.
Yeah, she looks like a Wyoming player. You know, she fits in with them, and she's going to be a great player for that program.
Basket is no good. Hollingsworth is called with a charge.
Yeah,
as we take another look.
Here.
It was Melhima who got her feet over. Did she get him set, Shaq?
I don't know if this is just me being a Gonzaga alum here and if maybe I'm a little bit critical. I thought that she was still moving, didn't really establish herself as a primary defender, but we play on. It happens. It's a great look for Hollingsworth and a great get for the Cowgirls as well.
We play on, and it's a 10-point lead for the Bulldogs as Callie Stokes is called for her first foul. Dickerson goes back up top to Melhima, then over to Ulilainen, who's up at the top. She's looking down low for Savic, working against Hybens in the paint. Shot's no good, but she'll go to the line after she was fouled. So it is time for a break here from the McCarthy Athletics Center. Good game going so far. GU with the 10-point lead, 36-26. About midway through this second quarter. More basketball after this. Welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Shaq Nillis, Joe McHale with you this afternoon as Gonzaga is hosting Wyoming. And we jump right into things. It's Marta Savic at the line. She was fouled just before the break. Misses her first free throw. Trying to cut this back to a single-digit deficit. And does with the second free throw. That's flush.
The Zags getting into their continuation offense. Ball screens with your guards coming off in the middle. I do like Esther Little being aggressive. She's left-handed, so her getting to that side. Just a little off on her finish, but I like her being aggressive early.
Ulilainen drives, and a nice touch there off the glass for the layup, up and good.
And that's just too early, or too easy, excuse me. Mount Hybens has to close out a little bit better under control, but also your helper action, right, where you have to have that secondary line of defense step up sooner and stop that straight line drive.
Ulilainen 3 for 4 from the field with 7 points, leading the Cowgirls in the scoring department here. Little drives again, kicks it out. Ball was off the hands of, it was tipped off of Melhima. I thought that was going to stay with GU, but no, they're saying it's going the other way.
Yeah, I think Callie Stokes, such an athlete, able to jump up and unfortunately gets a fingertip on it, so back to the Cowgirls we go.
They trail by 7. Simons, another 3. That one was too strong, but Savic with an offensive board for the Cowgirls. We're going to get a jump ball, and it's going to stay with Wyoming.
Great job by Savic of recognizing that Kaylee Trong is trying to block her out. Bit of a mismatch. Goes up there and gets the ball. Got to keep it high, though. As soon as you bring it down by your belly button, by your legs, that's when those pesky guards get in, able to tie her up. But ball stays with Wyoming.
Simons goes up top back to Melhima, and they work it around to Dickerson, who drives baseline, spins off the glass, and good. And it's 36-31.
I think the point of emphasis for that Wyoming staff was to get into the paint. So you're seeing the guards being a lot more aggressive, getting to the rim, either to make kick-out passes for three-point shots or finishing strong in the lane against the Zags.
Trong kicks it out to Little, whose shot is short, and it's rebounded by the Cowgirls, as they are currently on an 8-0 run, looking to add to it. Trailed by as many as 13 in the first quarter. Now just down 5. Ulilainen kicks it over to Dickerson, who drives in the paint, gets surrounded by GU. They force a turnover. Little coming the other way, gives it up to Trong, who fakes the shot, then drives, and count it, and one. Kaylee Trong with the opportunity for a three-point play.
Just great defensive activity there. Esther Little gets that steal. She brings it up, kicks it to Kaylee on the wing. She just shot fakes, drives. Really strong finish, able to keep her balance there. Gets the and one.
Kaylee Trong is 75% from the line this season. She started 70 games for Gonzaga in her career, a decorated career, the fifth-year senior, as she does complete the three-point play. Part of that all-WCC preseason team. GU has 4 players on it, Kaylee and Kaylin, along with Ejim and Maxwell. Under 10 to shoot, as Peterson just puts it up. Too strong, but a good rebound from Savic, who goes up, and that one's off the mark, rebounded by Ejim. Step back shot. Ejim with another rebound. Well, that one way off the mark. Ejim's just flying all over the place out there.
I just want to know if she ever gets tired.
She's got a motor.
I'm just watching her, and I'm like, huh. She's hustling there. She's hustling everywhere. She just does such a great job of being active and getting her team extra possessions.
It's been fun to watch her over the years. You know, you knew that they had something special on their hands when they brought her over, as we get a whistle. But Ejim has only improved every year she's been on this team.
Definitely. And this past summer, she spent time with the Canadian national team. So just going up against opponents of that caliber and getting that, you know, level of coaching and education and just experience. And then you also pair that with the fact that this Gonzaga team went on a foreign tour playing in Greece and Croatia. So they've gone extra reps together, but Ejim's just given herself more and more opportunities to get better. And you're seeing it on display. Averaging
19.3 points a game this season is Ejim. She's also on that Becky Hammond Player of the Year preseason watch list. She was a finalist for it last year. And she'll get the inbound. Looks down low to Hybens. Nice catch, nice lay-in. And GU extends their lead once again to 10. Every time Wyoming kind of creeps back and makes it close, GU goes on a little bit of a run.
Yeah, just a great job there. High-low has kind of been a staple of Gonzaga women's basketball.
And they're going to get called with a foul. I thought we were maybe going to get a jump ball there for a second. Looks like they're going to get Hybens. Take a look at the replay, though.
Great height on that pass, ability to go up and get it in traffic, gather yourself and finish strong. Then you saw Wyoming do something similar from the wing, lobbing it into Fertig. I thought we were going to have a jump ball situation as well, but she's able to draw that foul.
Checking in is Naya Ojuku for the first time for GU, the freshman out of Meridian, Idaho. Melhima goes up, nice looking shot, off balance there, able to get it to go. So we just got under 40 seconds to play here in the first half. Gonzaga with a 41-33 lead as Ejim drives, shot blocked, combination of Fertig and Simons. Ball did go out of bounds. It will stay with the Bulldogs.
Great job there by Maddie Simons, able to just slide over, hands straight up, help side defense was nice.
Maxwell, haven't seen her for a little bit. That shot won't go. And it looks like we have a foul. I'm not sure who that was on, or maybe it just was out of bounds.
I think Maddie Simons was going to try to save it, but that's kind of a cardinal rule, right, is don't save it under your opponent's basket. So I think she decided to just fall out of bounds with it a little bit.
Stepped
allow
on
her
the line.
defense to set back up.
Gotcha. Thanks, Jack. Keep me honest. Ejim sets the screen. Under 10 seconds to go, and off the glass, Ejim extending GU's lead to 10 points now with 7.9 seconds to go. She also draws the foul, a chance for another three-point play.
Just a great level of patience in that ball screen. Ejim and Trong working together. A bit of a blind catch for Vani. She's rolling to the basket, doesn't see the defense sliding over. Fertig was a little bit late with that help side. Vani able to absorb that contact and just finish, gets her team that and one. 7.9 seconds left. That's the type of energy you need going into halftime.
Free throw is off the mark, rebounded by Wyoming, able to stay in bounds. And they've got just a couple seconds left as Melhima heaves it, sails out of bounds, and that's how the first half will come to a close. Gonzaga 43, Wyoming 33. And Yvonne Ejim almost with a double-double just in the first half. 8 points, 8 rebounds. She also has a trio of assists as Coach Lisa Fortier is making her way over to us right now for a couple of questions. Coach, we just talked about Ejim, a strong first half, 8 points, 8 boards. What have you seen from her so far?
Well, she's trying really hard. I mean, she's playing extremely hard. I think she's pressing a little bit. She's being bodied around, but the way she is on the glass right now is pretty impressive, and hopefully we'll be able to get her some easy baskets to get going a little bit more in the second half.
A little back and forth first half. You each had your runs. Wyoming does have 13 points off of turnovers. What do you got to do to clean that up in the second half?
Well, I think that we're trying to do too much on offense, which is what happens. They lull you to sleep on defense because they're patient and they run 30 seconds of clock, and then you come down there and you're tired of playing defense, and so you shoot an early shot or you try to go dribble into a place where you shouldn't dribble to. And so we've talked all week since we started preparing for them about not forcing the issue on the offensive side, because then that's what happens. You either turn it over or you take an average shot, and then you have to go back down and defend 30 more seconds. So hopefully we can clean that up and let the offense work for us in the second half.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, our thanks to Coach Fortier for stopping by for a couple of questions as she makes her way to the locker room. Her team up by 10 in the first half. As you take a look at a couple of the highlights, Brenna Maxwell, a strong first quarter. And it was a solid first half from this GU squad, who will look to pick up another win and improve, but we've got a whole another half to play as GU leads it 43-33. We're back after this. All right, welcome back. Halftime here in Spokane as GU leads the visiting Wyoming Cowgirls 43-33 in an exciting first half of action. Shaniqua Nillis, Joe McHale here with you on this Saturday afternoon. Thanks again for sticking around. And Shaniqua, just want to get your thoughts on that first half. GU had as big as a 13-point lead at times. They had a couple good runs. Wyoming crept back at one point, but here we sit at halftime, and Gonzaga's up by 10.
Yeah, in the second half, I would love to see Wyoming getting Fertig more involved offensively, getting her some easier low post looks, looking for her with that seal option. But also in the same breath, Fertig's got to be a lot more active on the boards. Right now she has 0. She's averaging 8.7 rebounds per game and has 0 offensive and 0 defensive rebounds. And that's in comparison to Yvonne Ejim's 8, where she has 5 offensively, 3 defensively, and that's the matchup we were looking for. So if I'm Wyoming, that's my message in the locker room is we have to get Fertig involved, and we have to figure out ways to shut Ejim down on the boards. Yeah,
she is a force to be reckoned with so far in this contest. Let's take a look at some of your first half stats, or excuse me, we'll do that a little bit later. We're taking a look at the upcoming schedule for these teams. We'll start with Gonzaga, where they're going to take a break for Thanksgiving after this game, but then they're going to be playing in Texas for a tournament against Alabama, Louisville, as well as Liberty, I believe. And then Stanford comes to town. A huge game on December 3rd between the Cardinal and the Zags. They'll then head to Cal, another Pac-12 opponent, before taking on Arizona and Phoenix. So after this tournament in Texas, a couple Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, this is a tough stretch for the Zags, and Lisa Fortier and her staff had admitted that this is probably the toughest non-conference schedule that they have had for their team since taking over this program. So Louisville, that's a great matchup again. The Zags were able to knock them out in the Bahamas last season. Stanford here is always a great time. And Cal, that has a special element to it where Michaela Williams transferred here. She left Gonzaga to go pursue her career at Cal. And then Arizona is just another great program. So some tough games coming up for the Zags, but that's what you want to help prepare you for that tournament.
Exactly. It kind of lets you know where you're at. It lets you test yourself. I know that the players are all excited for this upcoming schedule. All right, how about Wyoming? Well, they will. They're got some, just like Gonzaga. They're gonna test themselves before conference play. BYU used to be in the WCC, now in the Big 12. They're gonna visit them in Laramie on November 28th, and then Wyoming's at Oklahoma State on December 3rd. They'll welcome Creighton to town on the 10th, and then they go to Montana State, and then in Las Vegas, we'll play Eastern Washington out of Cheney, just about 10-15 minutes from here. So a good upcoming schedule for the Cowgirls as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what your non-conference is supposed to do, right? Is you want to have a great blend, a balance of teams that are going to challenge you, that are going to get you ready for postseason play, teams that you can maybe build your confidence again and up again and work on some of your sets and things like that. But both teams coming up in the next month or so before conference play starts, they're going to have some battles. They're going to be battle tested and ready, and that's what both coaching staffs want. They're looking towards March. How do I prepare my team for getting to that tournament and making a good run, not just showing up and getting a game, but making some waves.
Yeah, a good gauge to let these teams know where they stand. All right, time for another break. When we come back, we'll have highlights from the first half. Welcome back to the Kennel. GU 33, Wyoming, 43, Wyoming 33 here at the half. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats, starting with Wyoming.
Cowgirls just doing a great job of working the ball inside. When the ball is in Furtick's hands with 2 feet in the paint, she's pretty dangerous. Again, keeps the ball high as the Zags kind of flank to her. Easy baskets like that are going to be a point of emphasis for this Wyoming team, because even when the ball's in her hands, she's able to find people cutting. Then you have your guards that are going to be more aggressive, getting to the rim. Look for the Cowgirls to just be more aggressive offensively in general.
Yeah, Uli Leinen with 7 points leads the Cowgirls. As for GU, well, there's Brenna Maxwell doing her thing. What'd you like, what you saw from her, Shaq?
Well, from her and her teammates, of just being confident, having that short memory of I missed one shot, doesn't matter, I know I have the skill set. They're getting it done from the three-point line, easy baskets there. If you're the Cowgirls, you have to defend the perimeter better. Just doing a great job in transition as well as pushing pace, finishing, getting easy baskets that way. And then again, your guards are just being aggressive to the rim, getting and ones. You see Kaylee Tronk getting it done there. Just great offensive stuff from the Zags.
Yeah, nice to see Trong looking like her old self. All right, time for one final break. We'll come back with some stats and the second half here from Spokane, Washington. Stick with us. Welcome back to Spokane and the McCarthy Athletic Center. We're just about set for the start of the second half. But first, let's take a look at some of those first half stats. As you took a look at the comparison, Wyoming actually was better in terms of field goal percentage, but Gonzaga with a lot more opportunities with the way that they just run the floor. 5 of 13 for three-point shooting for the Zags compared to 4 of 12 for Wyoming. You look at the rebound differential, the turnover differential. Shaq, what sticks out to you in the stat department?
Well, again, just those 21 rebounds for Gonzaga. Again, Wyoming, they haven't had any rebounds given by Furtick, so she's got to be more active, more dominant, just more assertive down there to kind of even that out a little bit, because also those 21 rebounds for Gonzaga have turned into points, whether it's, you know, the rebounder getting it and putting it right back up, or for even worse, kick out threes. and they're knocking those down at a pretty high clip as well.
Yeah, Gonzaga has 17 points off of those turnovers, those 10 turnovers, so definitely taking advantage of it. We talked about earlier how GU, they like to have as many possessions as they can, and when you give them free ones, that was the point of emphasis for Coach Easel. You're taking a look at her right now. She said on Wednesday during her media availability that if you're going to beat Gonzaga, especially here in Spokane, you've got to play defense for 40 minutes. You can't take any breaks, and you got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, you have to stay locked in defensively, and I was taught that if you get the more rebounds you get in a position, the higher your scoring percentage goes up, because if you just have more and more opportunities, you're probably getting closer and closer to the basket. So she recognizes that. I would not be surprised if that was not a point of emphasis in her halftime speech. For the Zags, you like what you're doing, like Coach Fortier said, have to be a little bit more disciplined defensively, and also being more disciplined offensively in the sense of, I know that you've been playing defense for 30 seconds, but let's try to get not just a good shot on the offensive end, but a great shot, not shooting so quickly in the start of our shot clock.
Just set here for the second half in Spokane. Both teams had their runs. GU had a run of 14, while Wyoming had a run of 8. Gonzaga led by as many as 13 in that first half, up by 10 here as we start the third quarter of play. And Trong gives it right into Ejim. They go right to her off the glass, a little too short, but rebounded by Hollingsworth. And so just like the first half, another offensive board for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I was going to say, picking up right where they left off with Hollingsworth being aggressive on the boards. Great action there with Vonnie driving into the middle of the paint. You saw Hollingsworth kind of slide along the baseline for that little internal pass, able to finish in traffic. Good possession there to start the second half for the Zags.
And Hollingsworth up to 8 points, 4 for 7 shooting on the day so far.
The Zags coming out aggressively here. You see Ejim dribbling into the middle of the paint. Again, Hollingsworth slides down, quick little dump down pass, and she's able to finish. On the defensive end, Zags are running a little trap action there.
Melhima with a lay-in from the baseline.
Great action out of a sideline, just kicking it into the wing, and she just attacks the baseline hard. No help side there because everybody was so high up by the three-point line.
Ejim is fouled and one. There's that matchup we talked about pregame between Ejim and Ferdig, taking another look.
And Ejim just going right at Ferdig, keeping that base nice and low, able to go through her chest a little bit, draw some contact. And again, she's really improved, I think, on finishing this season, especially over bigger opponents that have maybe a couple inches on her, right? A little bit stronger base, but she's just being so dominant this season, and it's great to see.
11 points already, 8 rebounds, so closing in on another double-double for Ejim. As right now, Gonzaga double-teaming Ustowska. That leaves a Barnes open. Shot was too short, rebounded by the Cowgirls. Ejim aggressive on defense, just got a motor that won't quit. They kick it over to Peterson. The corner three is good.
That's a great look for Peterson. Able to get it from one side to the other with a skip pass. She has her feet set, lets it fly.
Kaylee Trong a reverse layup. So two teams punching back and forth right now as GU up by 12. Peterson got it in the wing, goes down low to Ferdig with an easy up and in. Looks like there's a little confusion on defense from the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity for Maxwell and Ejim to switch back and get back to their original matchups, but there needs to be communication there, especially in the middle of your defensive possession, and that was just lacking there for them.
Kaylee Trong goes inside to Hollingsworth. Fake shot, now she drives. Lost her dribble, and we've got a fight for the ball. Are we going to get a jump ball? Yes, we are. Possession arrow stays with the Bulldogs.
I like Hollingsworth catching it at that mid-range at the elbow there. But you got to rip and you got to go. You got to get from point A to point B quick. So if she's going to try to go off the dribble, she's going to have to be more aggressive.
Looks like we had an offensive foul on Trong, Kaylee Trong. on the inbound, creating a little extra space or maybe setting an illegal screen. Turnover. Wyoming will try to cut it to a single-digit, deficit here. Seems like for a while they've been within that 7 to 12-point range. See if they can't go on a little run. Nice pass down to Ferdig off the glass and in.
And Wyoming's doing just that. They're getting Ferdig more involved. Already she has 4 quick points, just being aggressive, being assertive in the low post.
Ferdig now up to 10 points. They go down low. They're looking for Hollingsworth out of bounds. Last touch by the Cowgirls. Going to get a substitution. Take a look at this last play. Nice pass from Melhima to Ferdig.
Yeah,
untouched.
Ferdig just does a great job of working Hollingsworth up the lane, up the lane. If you're the Zags, you have to recognize that that's what she wants to do and bringing your help side sooner. As you see Ejim just continue her offensive dominance, going right at Ferdig.
Nice catch on the inbound pass to put it up and in. Ejim now with 13 points.
I like the Zags mixing it up defensively. They're going this little 13 action, right, a little 1-3-1. To start the second half, they were bringing a one pass into a double team, into a trap. So I like them trying to mix it up, keep Wyoming off balance. As you see here, Ejim just doing what she does best. Also a great pass. That's tough to go over Ferdig's fingertips to get Ejim for that little lob.
Yeah, such an athlete. Seen her do that a couple times today. Go up, grab it, put it in. Meanwhile, little runner is good from Melhima.
I think playing defense for those full 30 seconds is starting to get to the Zags. As you see, Kaylin Trong catch rip straight to the rim, but defensively the Zags have to re-lock in. Right now, their on-ball defense is a little sus. They're getting beat off just a quick step, and also their second line of defense, that the helper action is missing. So they have to recommit on this end of the floor.
Great point as Ulilainen fakes the shot and gives it back up to Melhima. And now it's Peterson. Back to Ulilainen. In the corner to Barnes. She looks down low for Peterson. In the paint, working up off the glass. Tough looking shot there will fall. And it's 54 to 46. Gonzaga leading here almost midway through the third quarter. Ejim down low. Oh, what a shot from Yvonne Ejim, who's now up to 15 points.
And again, those two have been playing together for a while. I don't know if you throw that past very often, but they work so well together, and just great length, great touch there on Ejim's finish.
So we got a whistle, and we're going to get a couple of substitutions. Simons and Stauska in. They'll replace Barnes and Ferdig. Meanwhile, Callie Stokes, Mount Hybens in for Brenna Maxwell, as well as Ejim. She'll take a breather, a much-deserved breather.
Much-deserved breather. And to be honest, I don't think she even needs much. If you're the Zags, you probably want her back in there because she's just been so effective on both ends of the floor.
Still a 10-point lead for the Bulldogs with 5:30 to play here in the third quarter. Ulilainen all the way across to Peterson for three. That one short off the front of the iron and rebounded by Stokes.
Great job by Hollingsworth and Stokes to double up there on that Savic's rebound.
So we got a foul on that pass going against Wyoming. Calling that one on number 15, Marta Savic. Dickerson checks in for Wyoming. Oh, and through traffic, Kaylee Trong able to put it up and in. And it's now 58 to 46.
Her body control in the air to be able to go off of 1 foot and just adjust a little bit, take some contact, finish strong.
Dickerson out on the wing against Hollingsworth. She kicks it over to Simons. Pump fakes, then drives. Simons back over to Dickerson. And now it's Melhima who drives against Trong. Ulilainen for three. No good. Rebounded by Trong. And now Kaylee Trong from the corner. In and out. But Hybens is there for the putback. And another second chance opportunity for the Bulldog team, and they take advantage.
Yeah, when you shoot a three, it's typically a long rebound that's going to end up in a quicker transition defensively. So you have to sprint your shifts, find people in transition, and always finish that possession with the block out, and that's where the Cowgirls are struggling a little bit.
Savic is fouled by Hybens. She thought she got all ball there. We'll have to take a look at the replay if we can. At first, we are going to take another break. Gonzaga 60, Wyoming 46. GU trying to pull away here in the third quarter. We'll be back. Welcome back. 60-46 to score here in the third quarter. Bulldogs on top of the visiting Wyoming Cowgirls. And, you know, this Bulldog team are basically a virtually identical starting lineup from last year's team. You mentioned, of course, Michaela Williams transferred in the offseason, but Kaylee Trong, she is healthy, and she is looking good. And when she's on, this team, there's a reason that they were picked to win the WCC conference once again. I mean, she's already got 15 points in this game. There you go. You see her on the bench. But coming off back-to-back 21-point games. I mean, just how important is it to have her at full strength?
Well, she's a playmaker, right? She's somebody, when she's out on the court, good things happen. She's a scorer, she's a facilitator, and she does both at such a high clip. And just looking at this Gonzaga starting lineup, they have 53 out of the 60 points for this Zag team. They are lethal offensively, and they've been playing together for a very long time.
Right.
So the familiarity, the comfortability to know where each other is going to be and each other's tendencies, there's a chemistry here that a lot of teams haven't even had the opportunity to build yet, as it's still November. So this is a very veteran team, and having Kaylee Trong back and healthy just elevates their play all around. Yeah,
Jim, of course, started last year, the sixth woman of the year a couple of years ago. We know that the Trong sisters, both fifth-year seniors, nice behind-the-back pass there. Meanwhile, from Kaylin, who works off the screen from Jim, who's now got it and kicks it quickly out to Little. She'll drive. Looking for a little bit of help. Callie Stokes for three. Too strong. Rebounded. No, out of bounds. Last touch by Wyoming.
That's so hard to defend if you're the Cowgirls. Well, there's multiple ball screens. You have to respect the ball's in Jim's hands, and it gets kicked out to Esther Little. She attacks. She kicks out for a three. That's really good offense where there's just constant action. So the Cowgirls have to just stay with it, stay disciplined, and finish with the block out.
Kaylin Trong up top to Stokes, who drives, puts it up, high glass, no good, rebounded eventually by Ulilainen. Cowgirls, got a lot of work to do here with just 3 minutes left in the third quarter. They trail by 14. Simons gives it up to Ulilainen. Now back out to Peterson. Simons thought about it, instead starts to drive, loses a handle, ball's on the ground, hits the deck. We're going to get a jump ball. It's going to stay with Wyoming. And I know that Wyoming's game is to slow things down and limit possessions, but when you trail by 14 with just a quarter and some change left, how much can you afford to do that?
Well, I think the issue right now is I don't mind them working the ball and trying to get a good shot, but right now their offense is very stagnant, where at the beginning of this game, there was a lot more movement, a lot more action, a lot more post touches.
And Ferdig gets the friendly roll, and it's 60-48.
So I don't mind the Cowgirls taking their time, but you have to keep your movement up, or else it just becomes very stagnant, very easy to guard. So get the ball into the low post, into Ferdig's hands, cut without the ball, and shoot when you're open. That's a big part of it, too.
Kaylin Trong off the front of the iron. It's collected by the Cowgirls. It's Tess Barnes there who eventually came up with it. Now Ulilani running down the court. Well, Peterson's got it. And now it's with Ustowska, guarded by Trong. Barnes working baseline, spins off the glass, count it, and one. The foul against, that was Naya Ojuku, excuse me.
Great job of being aggressive. If you were watching the Zags last game against Northern Florida,
Naya Ojukwu had 2 monster blocks.
Yeah, she did.
One down low, one that was up against the 3. So she has the ability and the athleticism to get some blocks.
Yeah,
but I think she just got a little bit too aggressive there. Didn't give Wyoming the opportunity to land safely.
There she is, maybe making up for that foul with the lay-in. Coach Fortier really impressed with her young freshman in the early going of the season. Says, obviously, we know what she can do vertically. They slowed the game down a little bit for her, as you do with a lot of freshmen this early in the season, but they feel that what she's shown in practice, that they can trust her with a lot more.
Yeah, her upside is going to be tremendous. She's in good hands as she gets a steal there.
Looking for it, just a little too aggressive with the pass to Hollingsworth.
And that's it, right? Where the game is a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger. So she's just going to have to slow down her mind a little bit. But she has what a lot of people don't have, and that's just pure natural ability and athleticism.
And a hard collision over there on the far baseline. I'm trying to see who is down. She collided with Ejim, who helps her out. It was Ustowska, and the crowd gives a round of applause. The result was a turnover. Oof.
Yeah, both players just going for the ball hard. I will say, as somebody who, as an alum, would come in and scrimmage or like help be on scout team, running into Yvonne Ejim is not fun. She is so solid. So I think we're all happy that she was just able to bounce up, kind of take a couple deep breaths. But that's 2 strong athletes just coming together. But like nothing intentional, and we plan. But glad she's all right.
And nice to see her get up and make her way to the bench. And we continue. It's now a 11-point lead for Gonzaga. Kaylee Trong with 15 points goes behind the back and works her way back out to the corner. Ejim down low to Hollingsworth, up and in like clockwork. And there's under a minute left here. Now Gonzaga up 64-51.
Just a great job of recognizing that matchup that the Cowgirls had switched. So Kaylin tells her post to dive, brings that high post action. Ejim with the ball fake gets it into her.
Barnes was looking for Peterson, but it's last touch by the Cowgirls, so another turnover here. As we take a look at that pass from Ejim to Hollingsworth. Tough to defend that.
Tough to defend, and something that I'm getting my 6th grade girls team, my daughter's team that I'm coaching, to fake a pass to make a pass, because it just gets that defense to shift just enough for you to enter it where you want it to go.
So GU is going to hold with just 10 seconds here for the last shot. Hollingsworth from 3 is good. And that is how the third quarter will come to an end. A 3-pointer from Eliza Hollingsworth to give GU a 67-51 lead as we make our way to the fourth quarter. 10 minutes left. Can Gonzaga hold on and get their 9th straight win against the Cowgirls? We'll find out when we come back. Gonzaga out to their largest lead of the game, 16 points as we start the fourth quarter. It is 67-51. Welcome you back inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. Shaniqua Nillis, Joe McHale with you here in Spokane. 10 minutes to go here in this contest. Kaylee Trong, oh, nice pass behind the back. Little gives it right back. Oh, and the bank's open on a Saturday afternoon.
I mean, that's just the kind of day that she's been having, right? She's just playing out of her mind right now, and they're so happy to have her back healthy. The impact that she has is significant, and you're seeing that.
18 points. She's 3 shy of matching her career high. And GU has 3 players on the Becky Hammond, Player of the Year preseason watch list. If Kaylee wasn't hurt last year, she would have absolutely been on that list as well, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. I think she would have been on a couple watch lists. She's just so dynamic with the ball in her hand. She's able to be crafty, getting into the paint, getting people open. She just runs this offense just like Coach Fortier would like to see.
Little's got it and gives it up to Hybens, who works inside. Through the double team, too strong off the glass. Ball on the deck. We're going to get a jump ball here. It's going to go with the Cowgirls. Couple players slow to get up. You know, gotta watch out, don't get your legs tangled together down there. There's the replay of the shot from Trong. Such a smooth delivery, so fun to watch over the years, both her and her sister.
Yeah, they're a great part of the Gonzaga community, of the wider Spokane community. They are the definition of student athlete,
Yes.
right? They came in, bought into the process, trusted their journey, and now are both having incredible fifth years for this program.
Bank shot good for Wyoming. They trail 15 with just over 8 minutes to play, so they've got a lot of work to do to get back in this one. Meanwhile, Callie Stokes in, as is Claire O'Connor for the Bulldogs. And we're going to get an off-ball foul. That one called against Wyoming. It will stick with GU. Allison Fertig called with that foul. She's up to 12 points in this game, but just still 1 rebound. So a tough day for her working against Ejim down low. Maxwell checks back in as well. Hollingsworth thought about the deep ball momentarily, then gives it back up to Kaylin, who pulls up from the corner. That one no good. Rebound by Ulilainen. Melhima kicks it out to Barnes, and now it's Peterson. Gives it back up to Melhima. Working against Hybins. In the paint. Tried to pass low, instead it's turned over. Brenna Maxwell came up with it. No look pass from Trong to Hybins. And what a play that was from 11 to 5.
For Wyoming, I like Melima with the ball in her hands. I think she makes really good decisions. Unfortunately, there, Fertig just unable to handle that catch. But I think the Cowgirls offense does really well when she's initiating and being aggressive.
Barnes with the lay-in there for Wyoming. GU not slowing down at all. Hybins looked inside. Hollingsworth was covered. Kaylee quarterbacking, calling out the play. Hollingsworth from deep. That one just off the mark, grabbed by Fertig. That one was last touched by the Bulldogs. Couple substitutions. Ejim back in, Kaylin Trong back in. We're going to see Savic for the Cowgirls, as well as Ustowska. And you just saw the replay from that no-looker. She's such a dynamic player. She can do it all.
Her passing ability and her vision is definitely one of her strengths outside of her scoring and her ability to make good things happen. But
Savic just got a shot off. The shot clock was down under 2 seconds, so she just heaved up a prayer, and it will go to the Bulldogs. GU is 8-1 all time against Wyoming, having won the last 8. We've got a whistle off the ball foul. That one called, I believe, on Tess Barnes. Excuse me, it was Ustowska who was called. But yeah, 8-1, 8 straight, looking for 9 straight. And we've seen that a few times today as Ejim goes up to grab the inbound and puts it right up and in. And that has worked so well today for them.
yeah, pretty simplistic out-of-bounds play for the Zags there. She's the type of player where if you can just throw it up anywhere, she'll go up and get it. She has that athleticism.
And a motor that just doesn't quit. Up to 17 points. Corner 3 from Peterson. Rattles in and out, but it's collected by Savic. Pass is stolen by Trong. Gets it up to her sister, Kaylin. And Maxwell pulls up from 3. Got it.
I mean,
just so tough in transition. The ability to get a steal, throw it ahead, wait for your shooter to come, get her feet on the line, and just a quick trigger there by Maxwell. Another 3 points.
Another lead was up to 19 points for the Bulldogs, but Wyoming responds with a 3, and we're going to get a timeout with just under 5 minutes to play. GU rolling here late in the fourth quarter as you take a look at Maxwell, the sharpshooter, adding it on for the Bulldogs. We'll be back. Welcome back. 77-61 in favor of the Bulldogs. Shaq, you said it during the break. Gonzaga is just lethal in transition.
Yeah, they have the perfect personnel to dominate in transition. You have athletic posts that are running the floor hard, so they're putting pressure on your defense to get back. But then you also have shooters, right? You have Maxwell, the Trongs, they're capable of knocking it down from long range. Even your stretch fours have the capability to shoot. So the issue for Wyoming is who do you stop in transition, because everybody is capable of making something happen in transition. So it's just so tough to defend them when they're playing at that pace.
Well said. Kaylin Trong goes baseline, kicks it out to her sister, who gives it right back. Kaylin working off the screen. Ejim, a rare three-pointer. Oh, in and out, just as the shot clock went off.
And I think that's the evolution of Ejim's game, is to be able to stretch her defender outside the three-point line. She's definitely improved, but I think for that next level for her is to be more consistent from that perimeter line.
It's our first three-point attempt of the season. Almost a perfect 1-for-1. Gonna get a reach foul from Maxwell. We're going to take one more break before this one's all said and done. 77-61. Stick with us. All right, welcome back to Spokane. Under 4 minutes to play here in the fourth and final corner between the Wyoming Cowgirls and Gonzaga Bulldogs. GU looking for their fourth win of the season with the 77-61 lead, hoping to improve to 4-1.
If you're Wyoming, that's a great look coming out of a timeout, getting the ball into your low post. Savage with a great look. She's just got to finish those, but that was a great set, especially coming out of the break.
And Kaylin Trong takes the handoff from Mount Highbins. And we're watching number 11 as we get a whistle. Kaylee Trong closely here in these final 3 minutes and 15 seconds. She's scored 18 points so far. Her career high is 21, so we'll see if she can't match or even break that this afternoon.
Yeah, I think coming back from injury, you're always just trying to get back to your old self, right? And I think we're finally starting to see maybe not even the Kaylee of last year, but a brand new, rejuvenated version of herself. So as a fan of basketball in general, you really hope that she's able to break that career high, because she's just worked so hard to get herself back on the court.
Meanwhile, Wyoming with the takeaway. We're also looking at 15 of Von Ejim closely. She's got 17 points, 10 boards, so another double-double for her, as a three-pointer is good from Uli Leinen to cut the lead to 13.
And again, who had the ball for Wyoming? Malima. Good things happen when she's running their break. She does a great job of finding shooters in transition and being aggressive, picking her moments to score offensively too.
And a true point guard is Malima. Kaylee Trong had it baseline, kicks it out to Highbins. A deep three is good for Mount Highbins.
She's really come along offensively this season for the Zags. And their last outing against North Florida earlier on this week, she had 6 quick points, 2 quick rebounds. So she's definitely capable from that end of the floor. So to see her stretch the defense, catch and shoot, no hesitation, that's a great sign if you're a Zag fan.
Yeah, Highbins logging a lot of minutes this season. One of those just really important rotation pieces for Coach Fortier's team, as we're going to get a handful of substitutions now.
Just does a great job as Trong drives baseline of filling up into that spot. Again, no hesitation. She's been working on that, and the Zags are able to score off of her there.
So now you got Naya and Peyton Muma, Esther Little, Claire O'Connor out there. I mean, it's under 2 minutes left, but these are really important minutes for some of these youngsters.
Yeah, definitely. You're trying to get them minutes to get them reps so that when you head into conference play, right, that they're ready to go, that they can come off the bench and contribute however you need from them in their role. There, Hybens tries it again. It's a good look for her. But this is what these minutes are for these players, is just to get those extra reps, build up their confidence so that they're ready to go later on in your season.
Just under 90 seconds to go as we get a whistle. Foul called on Claire O'Connor. So high expectations as you take a look at Lisa Fortier. Once again, we mentioned just the expectations for this team. They've been to so many NCAA tournaments under her watch. They're picked to win the conference this year. Again, obviously I think what they want to do, and I know we're very early in the season, but I think they got to get over that hump. It's been a long time since they've been in a Sweet 16. The last few tournaments they've been knocked out in the first or the second round, and I think for this program it'd be great to see them back in a Sweet 16 or even an Elite 8 situation. I think they have the talent and the team to do that this year.
Yeah, and I think that also was a big part of the reason why Maxwell, the Trongs, Eliza Hollingsworth, why they opted to come back for this 5th year. As you see, Ojukwu with a good attempt on the rim. But it's because I don't think that they were satisfied with how their season ended. And for those 4, that would have been a career-ending game for them. So they had the option to come back. I think they talked amongst themselves and said, hey, let's all come back. Let's give this one last go. We have the talent. We have the experience. That's not how you want to end your career. And unlike most people, they had the opportunity to get another shot at it. So I know that they have big, lofty goals, and I do think that they have the personnel to make a very substantial run into the NCAA tournament at the end of the season.
Couldn't agree more as Melhima puts up a shot. The rebound by Maya, that was Naya. 30 seconds to go. GU closing in on their 4th win of the season. And their one loss, it's an overtime loss to Washington State, who's the 24th ranked team in the country. So a game where they had a 3-pointer to send it into overtime. And so, even with the one loss, this is a very impressive first 5 games of the season.
Yeah, definitely. That WSU team, like you said, is 24th ranked and also returned some great guards. They're well coached, so you live with that, but you're able to bounce back, get a couple good wins at home before you head into a tough stretch.
So 80-64 the final as Gonzaga makes quick work of Wyoming here, and they will take some time off for Thanksgiving. Then they'll have 3 straight games in Katy, Texas for the Betty Chancellor Classic, where they'll face a couple of good teams. We mentioned Louisville and Alabama earlier. They'll also take on Liberty. As you take a look at Yvonne Ejim, our player of the game, a double-double for Ejim with 17 points and 10 rebounds, and showed just so much athleticism. She is the heart and soul in many ways of this team.
Definitely. A quiet 17, I think, because she was a little bit slow to get going in that first half. Coach Fortier mentioned that they were going to try to get her some easier looks, but right out the gate, she was just so active and aggressive on the defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds as well. So came out, asserted her dominance on her home court, and able to get the job done here today.
As for Wyoming, they'll lick their wounds, and they got a quick turnaround. They will host Chadron State on Tuesday. Meanwhile, Gonzaga, they head to Katy, Texas, where they'll play Liberty in the Betsy Chancellor Classic. 3 games, 3 days in a row. Talk about that, Shaq, a little bit about, obviously that's tough. That takes a toll on your body, but, what do you want to see from this team during those 3 games?
Well, it's, like you said, quick turnaround. So you have to lock in and take care of yourself, getting enough rest, going to the training room for some preventative stuff, whether that's taking an ice bath, using the Normatec sleeves, whatever you got to do, but also realizing that you can't overlook anybody. Take one game at a time, locking into the scout like they did against Wyoming. I thought they did a great job of pushing pace, being aggressive in transition, doing what they do best. So you have to take that approach every single game, but most importantly, just taking one step at a time and taking care of yourself, because it is a load both physically and mentally. So you're in the trenches together. You got to get through this tough stretch, but these are the moments that you want, because that's exactly what you see come March.
Absolutely. And so an all-around great performance from the Gonzaga Bulldogs. 5 Zags score in double figures as they handle Wyoming and move to 4-1 on the season. For Shaniqua Niles and our entire ESPN Plus production crew, I'm Joe McHale saying so long from Spokane, where the final score is 80-64 in favor of the Bulldogs. All games airing on ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.